have one job for you.
Charles Manigault.
Please forgive me the sins of my past. Please protect us. Amen.
Not even God will protect you in here.
Turn around.
Don't you ever get tired of this job?
No. All of my marks took something from someone. They deserve to feel the pain that they caused, and I give it to them.
At the church, you let him go.
He's quicker than he looks.
You're getting too cocky. They're coming for us. Let's go.
What's the rush? Friends of yours?
I don't think so. Good to see you again, Manigault. It's Isaac.
He's probably the second best assassin in the world.
Who's the first?
Me.
You saved us back there.
I still haven't decided if I'm going to kill you or not.
Cheers to that.
You know what happens next.
They're going to be coming for us.
What do we do?
I always have a plan. That's what makes me the best.
Second best. Third best.
I'm going to finish this. Not even God will protect you in here.
Turn around. Put your weapon down.
I could have killed you outside the church before you came in.
Got a deal for you. You walk away and live.
Charlotte Kirk, how are you doing?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to talk to you. You are a badass lady, my man. Let me tell you, like the Lair and Dutchess, two of my favorite genre films. Like the Lair, listen, like Stallone and Schwarzenegger ain't got nothing on you in that film. I just got to tell you that.
I appreciate that. And then, you know, going from, that's the thing. It was like going from Duchess, the Lair, and then Protocol, where I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not a badass. I'm a regular civilian in this.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed. I saw you were in the film, but I was like, oh, okay, well that's fine too. Like listen, you're allowed to do movies where you just act it, you know. But I mean, you still got physical and stuff. You were still part of the action, but in a different way. So yeah, still enjoyable. So now that I've talked to you, I only got you for a little bit of time, but since I haven't talked to you before, and this is our first interview together, let me just pick your brain about how you got started in industry. Was this something you always wanted to do, or was this something that happened by chance? What's the deal?
To be honest with you, there wasn't like a specific moment where I said, oh my God, like this is something I need to do. It was like a gradual thing. When I was in elementary school, I loved drama class. I loved musical theatre. I
Mhm.
bet take me to like theatre schools, which I did like drama school at the weekends. And then after I'd finished school, I said to my mum and dad, like, I need to go to drama school. Like, this is what I want. So it was kind of always there. It was always something in the back of my mind that I loved to do. And then when I was 19 years old, someone said to me, Charlotte, if you want to be an actress, like, go to the US. That's where it's all happening.
Right.
That's where opportunities are. So I said, okay, packed up my bags, didn't think twice, went to the US.
Now you got to work. Now, of course, I mentioned the Lair and Dutchess. Of course, those you got to work with the prolific filmmaker Neil Marshall with those. Like, how was it like? Because he is something else when it comes to movie making. How was it? Kind of like a surreal, like, wow, I'm working with Neil Marshall, like, type of thing, or were you just like, I got this?
No, it was awesome. I mean, we collaborated a lot. We've done like 5 films. So
yeah,
The Reckoning was our first one. Which was like, England 1665 during the Great Plague, which was really, really cool. The Lair and Dutchess, and then we just did Compulsion that came out a couple of months ago. I
have yet to see that one, but it's on my list. I apologize. Yeah, I still have to see that one. Yeah.
Me, because I actually play the antagonist, which I loved. I was like, well, this is cool. Like, I'm always playing like, the goodie, the protagonist, the hero. I want to. And I co-wrote that, so I was like writing it, and then I guess subconsciously I was like, yeah, I'm going to play Diana, the baddie.
Now, like in terms of doing like the physical roles and stuff like that, because like the Lair, like, you're in the military. Did you have to go through a lot of training for that type of movie?
Yeah, I spoke to had some phone calls with a real life fighter jet pilot. Unfortunately, I couldn't actually fly.
Right.
Had more time, I probably, would have absolutely wanted, I really wanted to do it. But it was very physical. I mean, before that, I'd never held a gun before, and then it's like, oh, here's an AK-47. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really physical. But I feel like in all the films that I've done, especially in this genre, I've always had to learn something. The Reckoning, I had to learn to horse ride. And that was I was terrified, and then I absolutely loved it. The Lair, fire a gun, never, I had to play like a real pro, never fired a gun. I had to learn how to do that. And then the Compulsion, I had to learn there was a lot of choreography in that I had to learn as well. So there's like a 10-minute death scene without cutting. So there was a lot of, there's a lot going on. So yeah, I always feel like in any project, there's always something you need to learn, which I love. Explore. I like to play different roles, really different.
Exactly, and that leads us to Exit Protocol, which, as we were talking, it's out today. I'm in the process of writing my review, so like I talked with Scott and the director Shane yesterday, so now I'm talking to you guys today. So I love the film, and even though, like I said, yes, you're not in the action per se like you were in those other films, but you listen, you're an integral part of the movie. You're the reason why Dolph Lundgren has done what he's done to send Scott's character Sam after him. So is that what drew you to the role? Was like, hey, okay, I don't have to get as physical. I could just do some acting in this one, or because you had most of your scenes with Dolph, so that must have been pretty cool too.
That was awesome. I mean, it was a component of things. I mean, I read the script and I loved it. I mean, I love a good voiceover, as you know, from Dutchess. And I just, the minute I started to read it, I was gripped. I was like, oh, this is really cool and slick, but clever and not predictable. A lot of action films, there's one protagonist, one hitman who's the main guy. And, but with this, it's like, okay, no, there's 2 or 3 like really badass hitmen in this. And they all come. And then with my character, no, I liked it because it was a different role that I've never played before. I was like, well, this is really cool. Like, I want to, it's just really about the acting and the relationship. And then, of course, I absolutely wanted to take this opportunity to work with Dolph and Michael. I mean, 2 legends. I'm like, I've got this. I played Dutch. And I'm like, no, wait a minute. Dolph Lundgren. Nah, he's a legend. He's a legend. It was pretty terrifying. But it was really, really cool. And again, it was like, I loved the whole, how we came together, like our backstory, that, I was his mark. you know, like falling in love with your mark. Like it was really cool. I thought it was really, really smartly written.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I told Shane and Scott yesterday, because I was like when you watch the trailers and you read the synopsis, you're like, oh, okay, like he kills assassins and he's going after, but then it's like things change and all the characters, like you start to like them, even the ones that were like, I don't really want to spoil stuff because people are going to be starting to watch the movie this weekend and stuff, but like Stephanie's character Wicked, you know, like I love, like she was phenomenal in it. I can't wait to talk to her, but like it's so fun to see how from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie how things change, even with your character too.
Yeah, and I think because all our characters have such a backstory, you know, we're not just like, you know, the backstory with the guys as well. It's like, oh, okay, they're not just assassins. You know what happened to them and what they did and what they shouldn't have done, and you know things that happened in Mexico with Dolph and you know his character and you know how we met and what happened. So it's
Right.
like there's a lot of meat on the bone. It's not just. I think that's a big part of it, and I think the dialogue's so funny and witty. It's fun. It's really fun. So I think that has a lot to do with it. And I think when a character's funny, it automatically makes them likable. It redeems them in lots of ways.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like where we're all behind the car because Michael J. White's all fighting with us. And it's like, what? Who's this? Probably the third best assassin. Wait, who's the first? Me. Like, it's just cool, quick, witty stuff that makes you smile. And I think that goes a long way. It really does.
And actually, like, and I already mentioned this, but like, yeah, it's your character, Denise Kelly. Like, you really are like the piece that like is bringing all these people together, you know, because of course Dolph's the target. Like he turns out, but you're the reason why. And I love, and Chad Law wrote it. I'm a big fan of Chad's. I've talked to him. He's a big supporter of mine too. And we were talking about the characters and the writing it, and it coincides with him writing it. So let me like kind of like go in a different way now. Now, aside from this movie, now you've done a lot of physical stuff. What do you have any anecdotes, like any, like whether it's this movie or any of the other movies that we talked about? Like, what was like an experience on set, either positive or negative, where you're just like, oh, okay, it's like, like what's gonna happen now? You know what I'm saying?
You mean like tips and stuff, like
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know, I think however you feel that day, you have to bring your emotion, your realism to the scene, right? So when I first met Dolph, we weren't really introduced. We didn't really have any rehearsal time. It was like, oh, Dolph, Charlotte, oh, and now we got like 10 minutes to do the scene. It was like really rushed and like, oh my God, this is like, okay, but you have to use it in the scene. Right. And you have to use your, you know, if it's like, yeah, I was nervous because I was, you know, working with Dolph and it was our first scene together. But I think from like my tools as an actor, you know, physicality or emotional, whatever it is, you just have to work with what you've got. Even if it's the opposite, even if you're feeling great that day and the scene, you're not meant to be feeling good. There's always bits of yourself you can take and apply it to the character. Mm-hmm. That's how, like, realism. I think that's, you know, a lot of characters are, you know, a lot of actors are, you know, very imaginative. They always like to use their imagination. But for me, I think in my toolkit, it's like, yeah, you have to be able to have felt something you're doing or feel it. Otherwise, it's hard for me to connect, you know. And it was easy for me to connect with this because I am a civilian, you know. I'm not an assassin.
But that's what makes you such a great actress, though, because like I like in the Lair, like you, I believe, like listen, and I'm gonna like because I hadn't seen The Reckoning before that, but I did go back and I did watch that one afterwards. But like the Lair was my first introduction to you, and I'm like, who is this? You know, but like I said, that's why you did such a phenomenal, because that is like it's just a relentless gauntlet. Like it starts from the beginning, you get shot down, and it's just like there's no breaks. And then like these and how was it like in that, like in terms of working, like because like the creatures and stuff like that?
Oh my God, that was amazing. I think like with the creatures, when in doubt, go practical, right?
Yes.
Like, it doesn't matter what budget you have, practical is always the way to go. If it's, you know, a man in a suit, blood, practical blood is always better than, you know, VFX, special effects. Fire always looks naff, I think, when you put it in and it's fake. Explosions. And we did pretty much most of it practical on the Lair.
Yeah.
And I think
and it gets the best, like, as you guys on set, it gives you the best responses in terms of your acting, because it's hard, like when somebody's holding up like a stick with a little blue like pup, like, hey, get scared, you're like, oh, but it's like it's actually in front of you, you're like, oh, it makes it easier for you, no?
It does. I just did a film, and it was there was quite a bit of special effects. There's 2 films actually, and yeah, it's never quite the same. It really isn't. Like, if you've got someone to work off, it's quite funny though. Like in The Reckoning and The Lair, it's like in the devil in The Reckoning, when he's like this massive guy, and it wasn't that scary though. Wandering around on set in his underwear, you know, checking his phone. It's kind of fun. I was like, yeah, this isn't really scary, but on screen it will. I think Neil's secret is like put all the creatures and the monsters in darkness, you know, obscure them a bit, and I think that always helps. Lighting, great DP, so important. You got to have everything. You got to have the whole team.
Now, you mentioned about your character in Exit Protocol. You know, you're just a regular like you're just a woman who is thrown into this helpless situation because you fell in love with somebody who was actually to kill you. Which, you know, that could kind of like, you know, distort the relationship at first. So, what did you draw on for inspiration? Like, was it just like, you know, was it just like, okay, this is how I'm going to do it in my mind, or did you draw from inspiration from anywhere else?
No, I couldn't. Usually, a lot of the films that I like to watch other films that are in the same references, but I don't think I watched many films because I couldn't quite find that particular thing. I mean, I just played it as if, you know, I love this man, and, you know, my emotions and hormones are all over the place because I'm pregnant. And then, you know, it was a lot, like, emotionally, like in The Reckoning, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, I come in at a 10 every day. I'm like, my emotion is like, she's on the verge, she's crying, she's, you know, I felt like with this, as long as I've got her backstory and I know, you know, that I love this man, but there wasn't like a specific thing that inspired me for this. I kind of made it from the ground up, with, you know, the experiences of love and fear. And, you know, a lot of it was adrenaline as well, being on set, right? The running, the guns, and, you know, using the practical guns always helps. Like, it was, and again, we had 2.5 weeks to film it, so it was relentless. You know?
That's what, and I talked to Shane yesterday, and I go, what I'm so impressed with, especially with independent action cinema, is like, you know, because like I've interviewed Scott Adkins, you know, the action star, a bunch of times, and I'm like, man, that fight scene was great. He's like, yeah, I had an hour to rehearse. I'm like, oh, well, it looked fantastic. It's like where you're working on a Disney film. They're like, hey, you got 2 weeks. Go ahead, we'll see you later. You know, but that's what impresses me. And Shane told me that there were like forest fires or something going on at the same time, and you guys had to deal with all that, correct?
Yes, there was a lot going on. Yeah, and then there was like thunder and lightning, and there's like, we're sitting in the cabin because we couldn't shoot, and it was killing us. It's like, oh my god, we're just sitting here. We couldn't do anything because we couldn't go out because of the weather. So it was like, oh, because it's dangerous. We're like, no, come on. We all love what we do, but we can't risk our lives. You know.
All right. Well, I'll let you go here in a second. And again, a big pleasure. I can't thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. Like I said, I've been a big fan of yours, and I love your movies. Can you just like now, like in terms of the action genre, because I do an action website, I have to ask: do you have that bug? Like, do you like, oh yeah, this is what I, you know, aside from, of course, you're going to do dramas and other different type of genres, but do you find yourself doing more of those types of movies? And especially if it's like this one, it's an action movie, but you're not per se shooting people at the same time. Can you see yourself, you know, basic part of your career in this genre?
100%. Like this year, I've kind of tapped into other things, and again, like this film has, you know, me personally, I'm not doing much action, but you're right, you hit the nail on the head. I just tend to want to go back to action. Like, again, a couple of times I've done a few films this year not doing action. Now I'm like, oh, I feel like I need to do some action. I feel like I want to do like a Duchess Part 2 or a, you know.
I would be so there for that. Listen, you were that movie was just, and I mean this in the best way possible. It was like a blend of different things going on at the same time. It's like this hard hitting mob thriller, and then there's these comedic beats in it. And I was just like, it was the best thing ever in terms of that.
And I'm super proud of that one. It's a really, and I think that's what got me into it. Well, the Lair, really, actually.
Yes.
Like, it's just the process. It's so fun. It's so much fun. But also it's fun to watch. Sometimes with the acting, other films, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is good, but I don't know. And you focus too much on the acting. But once you've done a really good action film, you think, yeah, that's pretty cool. It's like watching Exit Protocol. It's like, yeah, well, this is really slick. Even if I'm not doing the action, I just enjoy watching the movie.
Listen. Hey, when you're running around getting shot at, that's just as much as anything else. Yeah. And like I said, your characters are integral to the plot, and it's important too. Of course, everybody comes to see Dolph and Michael, but like I said, you being in it just authenticates this as a genre pick at the same time. Now, in closing, and I'll let you go after this. Again, thank you so much. Just tell people what you want them to get out of this type of film. I already know, but let people who are going to be watching this.
I think it's a brilliantly entertaining action film, but it's very smartly made in regards to the story and the character. It's not just a straight up action assassin film where it's predictable. It's not. One of the reasons it drew me to this, that it's got all these intricate twists and turns and character beats. It's got substance to it. There's a reason for the action. It's not just action for action. So, but it's immensely entertaining at the same time.
Absolutely. Well, like I said, I told Scott this yesterday too. It's so neat to do this because like I watch these movies and then now I'm talking to you. It's like a surreal moment. Every time I talk to somebody like you, and I'm just like, oh, and then it's so cool afterwards because I'll go watch The Lair. I'm guaranteed I'm going to watch it again this weekend. But I'm going to be like, hey, I talked to her. Like she was so nice and awesome. And again, I can't thank you enough for taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk to me. And I can't wait for people to see the movie. And I can't wait to see what you do in the future. Maybe we'll talk again if it's something that runs, guns, and shoots. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Have a good one, Charlotte.
Cheers, John.
Bye.
Drowning your sorrows?
You know I don't drink on the job.
By the look of it, you're not even on the job anymore. In fact, you and Manigault look real buddy-buddy. Maybe like you're working together.
I don't do partners. And I'm here to finish what I started. I always do.
You mean always did?
Hey, Annie. About Vegas.
I can't wait to fucking kill you.
I was hoping we could talk this out.
Don't.
That weekend was...
Unless you're gonna apologize, just stop.
I probably could have gone about it differently.
That's not an apology, fuckface.
Hey, as much as I'm enjoying watching you getting your balls handed to you, I prefer this not escalate any further.
Appreciate it. I see you had the same idea I did.
So, they didn't charter the plane in their real names, huh?
Bit too obvious. How'd you know I'd be here?
Well, this airport is just far enough away for a small plane to make it to Mexico on one tank. Then go anywhere else from there. It's the way I'd get out.
Of course you would. So is this part where you say, good to see you here, Hayden. Think we'll step aside and let you finish it.
You mean like you did at the church?